I found a chainsaw. I know what you're thinking. It's not one of those I found a chainsaw stories where the chainsaw was, you know, like in the back of somebody's truck or on their front porch or anything. This one was just put out with the trash. All right, now before I show you the chainsaw that I found, I have to acknowledge a little bit of a hierarchy in the world of chainsaws, in which chainsaws like these guys, these Steels or Husqvarnas, are kind of seen as like on the top of the hierarchy. And then chainsaws like this one, which is my first saw I ever got, that was in a Craigslist deal. I have to tell you about that sometimes. Chainsaws like this one, this Echo, you know, they're seen as like okay, but not really like a pro saw. You know, people complain about this off switch and say they get shocked by it. And they say it's annoying to have to use a screwdriver to open up the oil and the gas. Not all chainsaws are created equally. I think you're ready to see the saw that I found. Behold, the Poulan Pro. All right, feast your eyes on this 16-inch bar Poulan Pro. You chainsaw lovers out there might be throwing up in your mouths, but give this saw a chance, man. It came with a $0 price tag. All right, when I first encountered the saw, I did what a lot of people would do. I gave it a tug and the cylinder was completely frozen. So the pull string was doing nothing. It was also completely dry on gas and oil. Now before we crack this baby open, let's just take a look at the outside of this $0 free saw. It has definitely seen some use. Cutting wood and maybe, I don't know, sitting around in the garage or something like that. It's got a little bit of rust, I must say. It does seem like the brake is working. Seems like it. Oil and gas are completely empty. So just dry as a bone. Primer bulb is not busted. It's not like dry and cracked, so it's not too bad. But man, this thing's just dirty. Screws are rusted. There's some serious cocoon action down here. So not a lot of maintenance and TLC on this saw. The blade, you know, the blade doesn't feel that bad. It's actually kind of sharp. Probably the original blade. And it's moving. Poulan Pro has a kind of like an integrated bar tightener loosener thing right here. Kind of cool. It's like tool free. Kind of like that. Ew. Bar's not too bad. And you can also tell it hasn't been used all that much because, you know, it's got a lot of paint on here still. You know, like once you put even a few miles on a saw, you'll start losing the paint on your bar. So I'm kind of starting to think maybe this guy did not get used for all that much cutting. We got movement, that's good. All right, we got to get in there and check out ye old air filter. Oh, nice. Yeah, that's not such a bad thing. We got some spiders and bugs and stuff in here. And the screws are integrated so they don't pop out. I'm kind of liking this Poulan Pro. Alright, here's the air filter housing. Doesn't look too bad. And the filter itself, how does this guy come out? Oh, it's just a piece of felt. Okay, filter. It kind of looks like I could wash it though. More bugs. All right, let's blow it out. All right, now this is a little bit funky. I'm sure people who know the Poulan Pro know what's going on here, but basically there's no dedicated oiler hole on this bar. It looks like the oil is either just kind of squirted onto the chain itself or maybe dribbles in through the bolt holes. Anyway, that's pretty much cleaned up. All right, housing looks okay. I'm just gonna put a little bit of grease on this bolt. Just thinking it might sort of, I don't know, help it travel. Yeah, that's better. Clean. And this is the carb. You can see the choke right in there. And it looks like it's choking just fine. So yeah, the choke looks fine. All right, now air filter. All right, so we got movement. There's some resistance, so it feels okay. Yeah. It could be there was just a little bit of rust on the piston, or maybe here on the starter. All right, now to be fair, this is always the dirtiest part of a saw. You've always got sawdust in here, so this looks bad, but you know, no, it looks bad. It looks bad. It's crusty. All right, I'm just gonna blow this out. All right, so that is just a totally superficial cleaning. This is like what I would do with my saw at the end of a week. Just kind of tidy it up, get the junk out of it, oil anything that needs oil. And thanks to the guys at Fantic, not Frantic, but Fantic, for sending me this little driver. It's got a kind of push button thing going on where you can go forward or backward, and then you've got 6 levels of torque. 6 being pretty strong, actually surprisingly strong. For this job, I would just do it at about a 3. Looks like my gas cap stopper is busted, so I might just get rid of that. You know, this chain is not that dull. It actually seems like it's never been sharpened. It's just gunky. It's just got a bunch of like junk on it. All right, report on the chain is that it actually wasn't too bad. It did seem like someone had maybe dinged some concrete or a nail or something with a few of these teeth, but basically that's nice and sharp now. It's just kind of gunky, but if I can cut some wood, it will get cleaned up. All right, let's yank the chain. Oh, it's dripping. It's dripping. Oh, that's just weird. If you pump it, it drips. So we got a little fuel leak going on. Let's go full choke. Chain brake. Oh, yeah. Half choke. That's good. It's running on the bench. A little bit rough. All right, it's running. Let's go cut some wood. All right, so not too bad. You know, as a saw, it's got a couple drawbacks. It has like no teeth here at all whatsoever. So you can't really work the log and the leverage in the way you would with the saw with some teeth, but it's got teeth. Like, it cuts pretty well. It wasn't stalling out. It's got some power. This is pine and it's pretty dry, so not a real hardwood, but you know, I got me some dinner plates. All right, so that dirty little free saw actually cuts pretty well. It's got a few limitations, but it's running, and it's running just fine. So I've got two thoughts about what to do with this saw, two ideas. You guys comment down below, you guys decide. I'll go either way with it, but here's the options. Number one, give it back to the people who left it at the curb. It's actually just a house that's like a mile from here. We walk by it every day. Drop it off with a note. Here's your saw back. I tuned it up. Here you go. I hope you enjoy it. That's option number one. Just give it back to the people. Option number two is to take it out on one of my next tree jobs and use it exclusively to take down a tree. I've got a couple of climbing jobs coming up, and it wouldn't be my first choice to use the saw, but I could do it. So it's up to you. Let me know. Option number one, give it back. Option number two, use it on my next tree removal job. Either way, thanks for checking out the video, and I'll see you in the next project.